Thank you for tuning in early for tonight's IMG Academy football broadcast. It is senior night. That was public address announcer Art Ross introducing the seniors. We'll have more info on them as well. We are 20 minutes away from kickoff as the Ponte Vedra Sharks visit us here at IMG Academy. You're watching Ascender Football. Good evening and happy early kickoff here from IMG Academy on senior night as the Varsity White Ascenders welcome the Ponte Vedra Sharks all the way from Ponte Vedra on the other coast. A 4-hour drive to get here to Bradenton. Thursday night lights and a little early here on a Thursday. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ryan Sudol. My broadcast partner tonight is Josh Sperber. He was on the call for Varsity Blue last night. And Josh, you look at this team, IMG Academy and Varsity White, 5-2, coming off a very physical game against Hawthorne last week. Upwards of 10 personal foul penalties, lots of injuries, fights in the stands. So we hope to have a little more even-tempered game here tonight as the Ponte Vedra Sharks come from the east coast of Florida.
Yeah, I mean, these are two teams that put up a lot of points. Neither of these teams have put up less than 17 in a single game this season, and they're two just really solid teams, and I think we can expect some really good football, some high-level offense, and might not be as high-scoring as last night, but definitely excited to see this one get started.
And we take a look at Ponte Vedra and the Sharks. They come in with a 6-2 record, currently ranked the number 54 team in the state of Florida. They are 4-0 at home, but 2-2 on the road. They have scored 229 points and allowed 135. Pretty similar for the Ascenders on the other side, scoring 219 and allowing 143. The Ascenders 2-1 at home and 2-1 on the road. This one of their final games before they get ready to head to Germany to take on NFL Academy ahead of the NFL game that will be in Deutschland.
Yeah, that's got to be really cool. I mean, it's one thing for having NFL guys go to different countries, and we've seen that so much over the last couple of years, but you love seeing that happen for some of these younger guys because, you know, there's a good chance some of these players will be suiting up in the NFL one day, and giving them that opportunity to go overseas and you know, grow the game is got to be really fun for them.
And when we talk about the IMG Academy football program, a lot of eyes are on the national team, but again, that trip to Germany is going to be this team's second trip across the Atlantic this year. They opened the season against the Episcopal School of Dallas in Ireland ahead of that. In the state of Florida, it wasn't a very good game for the Florida State fans taking on Georgia Tech in Ireland, but the IMG taking on Episcopal School of Dallas, IMG winning 38-28. Again, in Ireland, and then an opportunity to go to Germany. So, again, a lot of national attention is on the national program, but this varsity team had 10 kids on Power 5 rosters last year that started on varsity. Some of them did move to the national team. Some of them, though, just stayed with the varsity program. So this is a game tonight that, again, expect a lot. Sometimes when varsity plays, we don't see as many players as Ponte Vedra has brought tonight, but this is going to be a fun one here on senior night. You can tell the fans and the players are all hyped up here, especially on senior night.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell just from the beginning the guys seemed to get to the field a little bit earlier, and you could just tell the energy on that IMG bench is sky high. You know, they really want to win this one for their seniors. They want to get their last game in the States and get on a good note to end off the U.S. part of their season.
And it looks like IMG Academy will receive. They're going to attack from north to south here in Bradenton, left to right on your screens. Back to return for the Ascenders, Liam Carroll and Ian Olson, both of them seniors. Ian Olson out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Actually, Liam Carroll, not part of the senior class. He is part of the sophomore class. But Ian Olson has been an absolute monster on special teams. Unfortunately for the Ascenders, they did lose one of their star defensive linemen in Carmelo McKenzie last week with an arm injury. So we'll see how the defense steps up. But first on deck will be the IMG Academy offense. And underway, it will be Olson fielding this back at the 1-yard line. Or that is Liam Carroll bouncing out to his right. He'll get up to about the 20. So a nice return for the Ascenders. And it'll be 1st and 10 for IMG Academy, probably spotted right about the 20-yard line.
Yeah, good start. Always want to get a good solid return, especially when they kick it that deep in the end zone. And, you know, I'm definitely expecting a heavy ground game from IMG coming today. That seems to be just what we've seen from these guys. And, you know, they've got some solid players in the air as well, but I'd like to see them establish the ground game early on in this first drive.
And it was a block in the back against the Ascenders, so they will be moved back half the distance to the goal line. So 1st and 10, it is the senior captain, Josh Barido. He'll take the snap and hand to the load back, Shepard Miller, who fights his way through the line of scrimmage and gets back most of that penalty yardage. On 1st and 10, they'll spot him down at the 20-yard line.
A nice solid run, always good to just get those chunk gains early on, and a pretty simple play from IMG, just sent him right off the tackle, and good blocking helped carry him to a nice game.
2nd down, about 2 yards to go from the IMG 20. Barido takes the snap, and whistles and flags enter the field of play.
And something we saw last night as well were just a lot of encroachment penalties. We'll see if there's a similar hard count, but this one's going to be going the other way. And you were talking about how the last game, Ryan, there were a lot of penalty yards and some kind of sloppier play, and not good to have a false start just right at the beginning of this game. You want to see the guys start off on a cleaner foot, but it's just adversity these Ascenders are going to have to get through.
And handed off to Shepard Miller, and he is stopped in the backfield, but absolutely sheds the first contact and is able to fight back to the original line of scrimmage. And it looked like he was going to be dead to rights in the backfield, Josh, but just absolutely ragdolling the defender.
Yeah, some just fantastic pressure from Ponte Vedra, but, a Derrick Henry-looking stiff arm from Shepard Miller. That really, that's a really nice, that's just a nice move to, keep the momentum going forward.
So 3rd and 7 for IMG. Barido takes the snap. They'll go to the air for the first time. Barido tries to run forward, and Talon Babin is able to stop him in the backfield for the sack, and that will bring on the punting unit for IMG Academy.
And you got to really like what you're seeing from the defense from Ponte Vedra. The pressure has been excellent so far, particularly just right down the middle. I like to see the guards from IMG just kind of maybe pinch in a little bit more just to try and avoid some of that pressure just coming from the center of the field. But Ponte Vedra with a really solid defensive drive.
And Alden Bilibogovic will handle the punting duties. Lincoln Pettigene, the long snapper, and this one a nice spiral, will take a favorable bounce for the Sharks and get them to about the 36-yard line in IMG territory. So a short field to start for Ponte Vedra.
Yeah, really lucky bounce for Ponte Vedra. That one landed at about the 50, but it bounced the other way about 10 to 15 yards for in favor of those Sharks. So they've got a nice short field, and after a statement drive on defense, we'll see what they got in store on the other side of the ball.
Ponte Vedra wearing their all-white jerseys, white pants, light blue numerals, and navy trim. They will start the game in shotgun. 3 receivers out wide to the left. I believe that is quarterback Drew Price. Takes the snap. They'll run a little play action, flick it out to David Doherty, and a nice little sizable chunk of yardage on their first play from scrimmage will bring up about a 3rd and 3 yards to go.
Yeah, a good pass. I mean, I'm usually more of a fan of establishing the run on the early downs, but just a nice quick pass like that, a quick slant, can help the offense get moving.
And they'll keep it on the ground going forward, and a Sharks player losing his helmet. He'll have to take a play off. That is Brian Case, who will move the chains for Ponte Vedra.
And that's the way to establish the run. You don't need to go off the tackle, don't need to go outside. You want to just start in the trenches. In that first drive, the Sharks certainly won the battle of the trenches, getting that sack late in the possession, and now already with their blocking up front, they're looking pretty strong after that first run.
And it is Case on the left hip of quarterback Drew Price. And he'll switch over to his right back pocket. Trips out to the left, one receiver out wide to the right. Man in motion is Caleb Stanton. Now Price rolling. He'll hit Stanton. On the move, he'll get up to the 15, brought down in bounds. The clock will continue to move.
And again, it's just the quick strike, quick play offense. I mean, these are the kind of plays that a team runs that's designed to help a quarterback just be successful. You don't need to go for those big deep balls, especially when you're as close to the red zone as Ponte Vedra is. But just getting those simple plays right out of the gate. I like the way Ponte Vedra's offense is starting.
8 minutes on the clock remaining in the first quarter. They will hand up the middle to Brian Case, who will fight for some yards. He'll get close to the line to gain.
Hard to tell how much he gained just because IMG really just collapsed on the ball carrier there. Just good to see some signs of life from that defensive line, really just attacking on that rush play and making a nice move.
They'll stay in shotgun. Case on the left hip of Price. They will run it left side and will not get too many yards, but it will be enough, it looks like, to move the chains. The clock will stop at 7:20 and then restart once the ball gets placed.
And you see they're not really trying to do too much with Case right now. He's certainly a bigger guy, so I think they're trying to take advantage of that and run him up the middle quite a bit. But I'm curious to see when they start trying to bounce it to the outside and try and diversify the run schemes that the offenses are cooking up.
Now running up the middle, trying to get into the end zone. He is brought down by a couple of senders. Looks like Caden Brewer was in on the takedown, but Ponte Vedra, again, they started at the 36 and just efficiently marching downfield.
Yeah, you might see them kind of go for more if they've got a longer field ahead of them, but I think they're doing just exactly what they need to do right now. Just short, quick plays, not giving the IMG defense too much time to put the pressure on in the pocket, and it's worked out really well so far for Ponte Vedra.
Now the snap going to Brian Case, who will bust into the end zone for the first score of the game with 6:11 remaining. It is Ponte Vedra 6, IMG 0. Extra point pending.
This little run from Case, and that's what I was talking about. You know, you pound the middle, in the first couple of run plays, and then you move off the tackles. Then you start moving outside. You don't want to let the defense know where the ball is going when you're running it, and that is something I think Ponte Vedra did really well. They disguised really the directions of just about every run.
Snap is back, the hold is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. With 6:11 remaining in the first quarter, Ponte Vedra jumps out to a 7-0 lead after the short run from Brian Case to break the tie. You are watching IMG Academy Football. And this one booted into the end zone. It will be a touchback, so IMG will get their second opportunity on offense from their own 20-yard line. We'll see if Shepard Miller can find some space down the field. We saw him shed a few tackles, but again, just not enough to get some forward momentum and move the chains and break into Shark territory. This will be our first hydration break of the night. We'll have one about the midway point of each quarter. Josh, we'll keep it here and just kind of talk a little bit. Again, the IMG Academy team, again, coming in 5-2. The game last week against Hawthorne was just one of the absolute most ridiculous things that I've had an opportunity to see. A lot of on-field scuffles, in the stands scuffles. It was quite wild. Hawthorne coming out with the victory, and IMG just, again, a lot of penalties and mental mistakes that didn't allow them to move themselves down the field. I have a feeling that head coach Jeff Pond probably tried to settle their tempers a little bit, trying to get that win tonight on senior night.
Yeah, I mean, you already want to win for your seniors on senior night, but coming after a pretty ugly game like that against Hawthorne with all those penalties, I think that just might provide that much more motivation for IMG. And you didn't see as much sense of urgency except from Miller, because he certainly was running angry. But you just want to see that sense of urgency dial up, and IMG really looked to make some big plays in this drive.
And again, trying to work it down on the ground. It'll be no gain and a late flag coming. We'll see who this goes against.
There was just a dog pile of people on Shepard Miller there, and, not much he could do movement-wise. There was just no room to run, and it looks like it's going against Ponte.
Nice personal foul penalty, so even though no yardage on the ground, that 15 yards gives the Ascender offense a little bit of breathing room, and it'll move them up to the 35-yard line of IMG.
And that's how it's really got to start. The IMG has not really had too many breaks so far in this game. They've been attacked by a really high-pressure defense, and you got to build off of this kind of momentum. You got to really make something happen after these penalty yards.
Navarre in motion. Berrido takes the snap, finds Jewett across the middle. He'll get about 6 or 7 yards on the play. That was another problem that White had last week, Josh, was that, again, it was right after Hurricane Milton, so a lot of players weren't even here to practice a full week of reps, so they had some drops during the game, probably 7 or 8 drops that would have been really big plays. But right there, Max Jewett starting out with a nice, secure completion as Berrido running back on each hip. They're going to go back to the air. Miller turns, times it well, stays on his feet, but steps out of bounds. And brings them to a 3rd and 2.
And again, IMG is coming with those simple passes, but I mean, after all those drops, and obviously these aren't big play attempts. These are just pretty simple, quick routes that the Ascenders are running so far. But you still like to see sure-handed receivers get the ball early on. You want to see just some tone-setting drive. Whether or not they come up with points just yet, they're only down a touchdown. You just want to see, good, positive momentum.
And Miller tries to run up the middle, bounces backward, and then he is stood up before getting to the line to gain. There is laundry on the field.
And once again, Ponte Vedra's defense have made it so difficult for Shepard Miller. He has run so well, and he's broken at least one tackle in every run that he's made so far. But when you've got an entire defensive line in the pocket behind the line of scrimmage, that's not gonna help out the offensive players all that much.
So rather than take the 4th and short, Ponte Vedra is going to give. We'll take a look here. I think if you get the stop, normally this would be a punting situation for IMG, but with the hold, they're going to give them a 3rd and long, and again allow them to bust off a big play here. I don't think that's a situation where you would necessarily let IMG go for it on 4th and short, especially this early in the game, but we'll see if the IMG offense has a big play in their back pocket. Berrido in shotgun. Takes the snap. Drops. Nice pocket pressure coming. Berrido steps up. Then floats this one over for Vasquez. And looked like there was close to a little bit of contact on the sideline, but a little too tall for the intended receiver, and it'll be 4th and 12 in a punting situation.
And, I mean, the gamble worked out for Ponte Vedra there, but, I mean, inside their own territory, just give them the 4th down and take the possession back. I mean, this early in the game, as you said, they're not going to be going for that. You know, in the 4th quarter, maybe give them the 3rd and long, but Ponte Vedra, I think, is just lucky that ball got overthrown, but part of that was from, once again, solid pressure from that defensive front.
Golubovic, this one end over end, sails it nicely. The fair catch called for at the 30. It looked like Jack Bergquist was going to try to take off for it, and then last second just throwing his arm up and taking the fair catch.
Yeah, don't want to risk too much with a couple of IMG defenders bearing down on him. He might have been able to get a yard, but there were enough blue jerseys around him that he just made the smart move and took the fair catch.
There you see the sunset over the Gulf of Mexico. Normally, we wouldn't be kicking off for another 42 minutes, but I believe with the long journey, again, a 4-hour drive for Ponte Vedra, and obviously in a bus, probably about 4.5 or 5 hours, depending on which route they took. And the quarterback, Drew Price, keeps it himself and then is finally cut down by senior Xavier Gibson. Gibson, the senior out of Lorton, Virginia. Father Johan was here on the field with him pregame.
And Ponte Vedra is really leaning heavily on that ground game. 6 of 7 plays in the first drive were on the ground, and now a QB run to start off drive number 2 for the Sharks.
Now Price rolling, pressure coming. There was a little block in the back, not called, and then this one just sails over the head of the intended target, Caleb Stanton. Mason Vedra was there stride for stride with him.
Good pressure from IMG, and it really seems, I mean, you know, you can probably say this about any football game, but the battle in the trenches is already proving to be pretty crucial. These are two teams that are bringing a lot of pressure to start things off, two teams that have talented running backs that it seems like their offense is going to lean on, and whoever wins the battle of the trenches seems to be able to put themselves in position to win this game.
So the penalty on the Ascenders will make this a short yardage situation on 3rd down for the Sharks. And Price will stay in shotgun.
You saw the linebackers really showing blitz from IMG, and that might have caused the Sharks to change the play pre-snap.
And they give it to the big man, Brian Case, who just rumbles forward and gets down to the 44-yard line and moves the chains for Ponte Vedra.
And if you can have a running back like that, you know, good control of the ball, forward momentum consistently, that is going to do nothing but good things for your offense. And that has certainly been the case for Case. 6 carries, 29 yards through the first 2 drives.
First and 10, ball at the Shark 44. The man in motion is Camden Teets. Now Price firing this one deep, intended for Jack Bergquist. Puts a little too much on that one, and Michael Hunt Jr. with some good coverage.
There was a flag on the play. Looked like some press coverage from Hunt, but I might have seen a jersey grab once the receiver Burnquist started to get a little bit of space, and I think that's going to be enough for the referees, as you just saw on the replay there. You know, Burnquist just beat that press coverage quickly, and all Hunt could do was just commit a penalty to stop that from turning into a big play. And that play is not only big because it moves the change, but it also puts Ponte Vedra back in IMG territory. So looks like we're going to see another calculating drive as they're on the IMG half of the field.
from the Ascender 46. Price takes the snap, and they just, again, Brian Case right up the middle, one of the bigger bodies on the field, and he is just basically chunking out the field 4 or 5 yards at a time.
Yeah, these are two pretty different running backs. I think Miller relies more on his speed and elusiveness, and Case has just looked like a pure power back. Another 5-yard run, and he is just continuing to get those chunk plays because he's just a big guy and he's difficult to bring down.
2nd and 5. They'll fire this one out quickly to Bergquist, who's going to get enough for the first down, but stopped. Gibson and Hunt. Also, Danny McKenna, another senior out of Corpus Christi, Texas, in on the tackle.
And just good, a nice well-executed screen there. They really loaded up that near side and got it out to Bergquist quickly while the blocking, just as soon as the blockers set their blocks, he had the ball in his hand.
And now looking for the deep ball, turning, trying to adjust. Intended for Teets, and Trell Polk able to fluster the receiver as that ball sails out of bounds. And we should mention the wind is blowing a little bit in the face of Drew Price and away from the camera view. So some of those high passes are going to, again, get caught up in that jet stream and, give an opportunity for some turnovers.
And just really good coverage there by Polk. Kept his eye on the quarterback as well as the ball, and really just never lost sight of the goal. And that wasn't the best pass, sure, but the good coverage really sealed that incompletion.
2nd and 10. Price steps back like he wanted to throw and then takes it himself. He'll get about 3 or 4 yards on the play. We'll see where they give him the official spot. Actually, a little shorter than I thought. It'll bring up 3rd and 8. So IMG with a chance to possibly get off the field with a big stop here.
And it's that pressure. I mean, when you run the ball as frequently as Ponte Vedra has done against a good defense, they're just going to figure it out sometimes. And it really seems like IMG went into that play expecting the run, and the quarterback draw just did not seem to work for Price and the Sharks.
Now the snap. Price going to go to the air again, sets this one up, and it is off the fingertips. Jack Bergquist had beaten Michael Hunt and just can't reel it in, and it'll bring up a 4th down, but Drew Price looks like he wanted to stay on the field, but it looks like they're going to bring on the kicking unit. Nope. Looks like they will bring on the kicking unit. Price will be the holder, so IMG needs to keep an eye out for some trickery here.
And that's certainly one that Bergquist is going to want back. Second time that he has just beaten Hunt in that press coverage and gotten some room on him, and that ball hit him in the hand. That is certainly a play that Bergquist is going to want back, and after a quick water break, he's back in to come block. So you're saying you might expect trickery? Might be coming.
Noah Ash, the snap is back, the hold is down. It is blocked! And he kept the ball, and IMG falls on it. I don't think that Trell Polk knew that he could run with it, but it is IMG football. And I think some of his teammates may give him a little bit of a ribbing on the sideline after that, as he just kind of stood there at Statue of Liberty. I've never quite seen it on a field goal block, but that one was deep into the wind, and IMG is able to break through in a huge stop on special teams.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look, and you'll see right here, Polk just holds this up like a receiver guarding the ball from a defensive back. And if he had started running with it, he could have taken that the other way. There was not too much, but turf in front of him.
Now the wind at Barretto's back. Keep an eye for a deep ball. Barretto fires this across the middle. Navarre catches in stride. Gets across into Shark territory. And the Ascenders with their first offensive play from the Ponte Vedra side of the field.
And a good simple route once again, just a little drag to get a quick opening, and it got the job done. Just these quick strike passes have kept IMG pretty efficient so far. Now they just need to make something of it after the turnover.
2nd and 3 with 27 seconds and counting. Now the hand, Miller cuts back, keeps his balance, and gets back to midfield. It'll be a short loss. with 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. Don't think we'll get another playoff. We'll see if maybe they want to take one shot at the end zone with the wind at their back. And the rare, right at the 50, quarter swap at the end of the first. It is Ponte Vedra 7, IMG 0. We will literally just flip the field and go the other way. You're watching IMG Academy football. Welcome back. Beginning of the second quarter. Third down, 4 yards to go. Berardo takes the snap. Play action. No, they give it to Miller, and he is stopped for a loss. And that's going to bring up a fourth down punting situation. And right now, the defensive line for Ponte Vedra has just been too overwhelming for the IMG Academy offensive line.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure that was a designed run play. It seemed like the ball kind of slipped out of Barado's hands, and all Miller could do was just hold on and, hope that it didn't turn into a fumble. But, I mean, this Ponte Vedra pressure is really, really affecting IMG's offense right now.
Bilibogovic stands back at the 33. Takes the snap, almost gets this one blocked, and this is going to be a poisonous ball, and it will take an ascender bounce and almost knock into Jack Berquist, which would have been disaster for the Sharks if the ascenders could have shortened the field that much. IMG Academy supports Gatorade's mission to get more athletes into sports. When we all play, we all win. Gatorade is committed to giving millions their chance to get in the game. Together we can fuel tomorrow. Ryan Sudol alongside Josh Sperber. 7-0 IMG, still well in this game as we begin the second quarter. 11:04 remaining in the half. And don't forget, 3 straight days of IMG football. We had the Varsity Blue game, a long contest last night here at IMG Academy Stadium. And then tomorrow night you'll have to log on to Flow Sports as the national team will take on East St. Louis in East St. Louis, Illinois, one of the top teams in the land of Lincoln. Price takes the snap. They'll do the play action. It incomplete. Bounces off the numbers of Caleb Stanton. And a bring up second down.
Yeah, that is not how Ponte Vedra wants to start the drive. Last 3 pass plays they have thrown have been incompletions, and that one absolutely should not have been. Caleb Stanton has to be kicking himself for missing that one.
And you saw kind of the pose he made as he just, ball hit him right in the numbers and then just dropped to the turf, and then he just kind of froze. Almost similar to the Trill Polk Statue of Liberty block field goal.
Little different consequences in those, though.
3 receivers right for Price. Now looking for the deep ball with the help of the wind, and it is knocked away. Getting a hand to it was Caden Brewer. David Doherty was darting down the sideline, and he had an ascender in front of him and an ascender behind him, and it was Caden Brewer who gets the knockdown.
Yeah, and that's just great help from the safety from Brewer there. Doherty looked like he had a wide open lane. He has a couple of yards on the quarterback, and then a great play coming in from Brewer to just take that completion away and bring it to third down.
Mason Vedra also there for the coverage. Now 3rd and 10, and the Ascenders with a chance to get a 3-and-out. Defense has kind of tightened up here on this drive. Price drops, looking for the deep ball, steps up, fires this one deep, and again gets up into the wind. That intended for Darius Medina. And 4th and 10 and a punting situation which will allow Ian Olson, last week's Special Teams Player of the Week, an opportunity to do something here on the punt return.
And that pressure caused the incompletion there. Another example of Ponte Vedra just beating these IMG corners, but just the great pressure from IMG's front seven forced the quarterback to move out of the pocket and kind of force a throw on the run that certainly was not the kind of toss you would want for a wide receiver streaking down the sideline. So the defense from IMG, especially up front, really improving.
And this one booming end over end will take a bounce. Olson was tracking it, and this will continue to bounce. Excellent punt for Noah Ash, the punter. There is a flag on the field.
And Olson honestly might have realized that there was a penalty because it looked like he had enough room, and that was just another really friendly Ponte Vedra bounce on that punt. So IMG with a bit of a long field, and now we're going to see what's going to come from the penalty.
Waiting the call from the white hat. And it is against the Ascenders, so an already fantastic punt from Noah Ash. Probably going to add another 10 yards to the end of it. So it is holding.
The 6th penalty from IMG so far. You said that there were just so many last week, and it doesn't seem like that has changed much coming home. And IMG has struggled to get much moving on offense, and they're not helping themselves with these flags either.
1st and 10 from their own 10-yard line. And it is Vasquez on the left hip of Josh Barido. Shepard Miller on the right. Now the snap, they'll hand to Vasquez, who's able to find some space in between the line of scrimmage and move the chains. A nice 10-yard gain for Damian Vasquez.
And that is just a perfect example why you see so many more NFL teams using running backs by committee. Sometimes two backs that, are just have a different makeup, a different build, can get you different things in the ground. And, it's been tough sledding for Miller so far, but he's been able to move the ball relatively well. And, a new running back facing the defense, and you get a first down right out of it.
Again, Vasquez with that slightly more slender frame was able to find a little space and get a little more elusive in between the tackles. Now the snap. They'll fire this one right off the rip. The tackle, Cooper Sobiecki. And I believe that was Ian Olson making the catch on the far sideline. I'll bring up 2nd and about 5 yards to go.
Another just simple pass play from IMG. And now I think, they've gotten kind of the basic stuff down, and they've really kept the ball moving forward for the most part in these offensive drives, but now they just have to start getting these big plays to start to happen for the Ascenders.
Now Barido put it in the belly of Miller. Again, extremely tough to bring down, but they're able to do it behind the line of scrimmage to bring up a 3rd and long. Again, just that first step from the defensive line of Ponte Vedra. There is a player down for the Sharks. Located next to campus, the Legacy Hotel at IMG Academy is a contemporary boutique hotel with countless amenities and the Icon Eatery and Bar available for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Enjoy ultimate convenience and proximity to campus, as well as local area attractions and top-rated beaches. Visit imglegacyhotel.com to reserve your stay today. 9 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the half as they tend to the downed Ponte Vedra player. We will step aside. You're watching IMG Academy football. Looked like the down player for Ponte Vedra was J.P. Dolan, the junior. And needed a little bit of assistance getting off the field, but is okay. Vasquez, the lone back, 2 receivers to each side. Barreto tries the hard count on 3rd and 9. Vasquez will move into a more pistol formation. Now Barreto snap, play action to Vasquez. Barreto, the pocket closes quickly and he is sacked. Back at the 16-yard line, and a 4th down and a punting situation for IMG yet again.
It just seems like every time IMG drops back, there is pressure on them. No matter if they're passing or running or not, Ponte Vedra has just been menacing on the line of scrimmage. I mean, it just does not seem like there's a way to stop them at this point. So IMG is going to have to make some adjustments to combat that pressure.
Under 8:40 remaining in the half. Bill Bogovic with his toes on the 5. Pettigene's snap is perfect, and Bill Bogovic sends this one deep. And it was fielded cleanly, but can't get away from Jacob Hansen, the senior out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, able to just grab him by the shoelaces. And Jack Bergquist looked like he wanted a full head of steam running downfield, and Hansen says no.
Yeah, you could tell after he makes this catch, he's got a bit of momentum. He sees some space up the middle, and you could see his eyes just popping out of his helmet. But Hansen just comes in from behind him and does just enough to bring him down. A really good job on the tackle by Hansen.
And that first drive for Ponte Vedra ended up in 7 points, and a holding against Ponte Vedra will move them back into their own territory, back to the 45-yard line. So, again, after that very efficient first drive from Ponte Vedra, things have kind of settled down for them on offense, and especially with the wind at their back for some reason, they just haven't been able to get the passing game going.
And I think a lot of credit goes to IMG's defensive pressure as well. That has been really the story of this game, is both teams being able to get in the backfield with
and ease. The ball is fumbled, but Price loses it on the exchange, and a couple of senders in the backfield, one of them the closest to it, senior Preston Olafson. Again, right now it's mental mistakes hurting both teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's penalties for IMG, and then it's, miscommunications like that here for Ponte Vedra. And, I think that some of those just can become more frequent when you have a line that is just shedding blockers one by one, like both teams seem to have.
Steve Hannon getting the wrap-up on Brian Case, who will get a few yards back. It'll bring up a 3rd and 8 for the Sharks.
Nice 3rd and long. IMG with Ponte Vedra in their own territory. Looks like they're going to set up for some press coverage again, which Ponte Vedra has been able to beat with relative ease so far this game. So keep an eye out for Bergquist on the near sideline.
3rd and 8. Price rolling, fires it deep down the field, and it is caught, but out of bounds and incomplete. A phenomenal catch by David Doherty, but unfortunately he had to leave both his feet, and he comes down out of bounds to bring up 4th and 8.
This was a close one, and again, Price getting out of some heavy pressure from IMG, makes a nice throw on the run, but some pretty blanket coverage by Gibson there. Not much room for him to make that completion, and Doherty did everything he could, but couldn't come down in bounds. And you gotta give Gibson a lot of credit for positioning his body in a way that was the only place where the catch could be made and sending the guy out of bounds.
Punt going back to Olsen. This is a dangerous one. It'll just bounce into the end zone for a touchback.
I think that's the first time that a bounce on a punt has gone in favor of IMG. I mean, a couple other bounces going much more favorably with Ponte Vedra the last few punts.
Just under 6:50 remaining in the first half here. IMG only trailing by 7. It's been a relatively quick-moving first half. There is going to be a hold against the Ascenders, so again, penalties just absolutely handicapping the Ascenders.
Yeah, IMG has already had some long fields to begin with, but add penalty yardage into that, and now, I mean, it goes from, pretty manageable on the 25. Now they're deep inside their own territory and in the enemy's red zone. So just they got to be a lot more careful as they start this next drive with the end zone to their back.
So 1st and 10 from their own 10-yard line. The hand, Miller's actually got some space down the near side. He'll pick up 5, maybe fall forward for 6 or 7. We'll see where they give him the spot.
Yeah, that's the first time that Miller wasn't instantly met with 3 defensive ends and a linebacker, and it's one of his longest runs of the day, a 7-yard run for Miller there. And you still see him seeking out that contact, and that, I think, is something that is, in the long run, going to wear Ponte Vedra down.
Now running right side, Miller changes direction, keeps his low center of gravity, but will be stopped behind the line of scrimmage on 2nd and 3 to bring up a 3rd and 5.
And another example of good pressure from Ponte Vedra, and they just kind of seemed, insulted that Miller gained a yard on him. He had been shut down for the last couple of runs, and they came back with a vengeance after that 7-yard gain on 1st down, but it's still a pretty manageable 3rd down situation for IMG.
Berardo drops. Nice little dump out to Miller with space. Able to keep his feet. It's going to be close. I believe he needed to get to the 20. He's going to be maybe a yard shy. And so this will probably be another 3 and out.
And so far, Berardo has not thrown an incompletion yet, but these passes are just in the middle of the field, in the middle of the Ponte Vedra defense, and it's enough that the receivers are open and they can make a catch, but after the catch, they're just swarmed, and there's really not much to be done, even with a shifty guy like Miller.
Bilibagovic, another nice booming punt. Not often you see that from a wide receiver, but it is the fair catch from Jack Berquist, and it will be 1st and 10. Therabody is proud to be an official recovery partner of IMG Academy. Therabody offers an ecosystem of percussive therapy and pneumatic compression products and solutions that help our student athletes perform better, recover faster, and manage pain. And again, we talk about Bradenton and the extended Tampa Bay area. A little breaking news has just come across with heavy hearts that we announced that the USF men's basketball coach, USF having one of their best starts in history, 16-2, part of the American Conference. Their head coach, Amir Abdur-Rahim, has tragically passed away early. Again, I do some play-by-play for the USF program, both the softball and volleyball and soccer programs, and just some heartbreaking news and heavy hearts here in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just there's been a lot of that negative news going around, everything in the hurricane follow-up, and then this just it's a big punch in the gut for a lot of USF fans.
Former IMG tight end Jonathan Eccles, part of the USF football program. Brian Case running down the sideline, takes a nice hit and goes out of bounds.
That's another rare situation, just really good blocking down the left for Case there. Saw a little bit of running room going off the tackle, but there just was not too many blue jerseys over at that second level. And a big yard run, that's a 22-yard rush, his longest play of the day so far.
Now the snap. Case up the middle again, finding room, trying to get into the end zone, brought down the touchdown-saving tackle from Xavier Gibson. But it will be a first and goal for Ponte Vedra, looking to extend their lead.
And now that's the longest play of the game. 2 back-to-back runs by Case where he was just on a mission, and it did not seem like he was going to be stopped until he hit the end zone there. But 2 rushing plays and 44 yards for Case on this drive, and now Ponte Vedra is on the cusp of going up 2 scores.
First and goal, it is quarterback Drew Price with Brian Case to his right. I anticipate this one going to go right into the belly of number 7, looking for 6. Price takes the snap. He's going to roll right. They're going to put it in the air. Fires, and it is caught for the touchdown. Caleb Stanton adds 6 points for Ponte Vedra. They're on the verge of doubling their lead, 13-0 with the point after pending, 3:43 remaining in the half.
And Ponte Vedra, the last 6 pass attempts before that touchdown were incomplete. And Stanton was part of that, missing, a ball that hit him in the chest. And that's some good retribution there for the sophomore Stanton.
Snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up. The kick is good. 3:43 remaining in the first half, and it is Ponte Vedra 14, IMG 0. You're watching IMG Academy Football. IMG Academy is the world's most prestigious sports performance and educational institution. With our world-renowned boarding school and noted sports camps, IMG Academy continues to set the standard for total academic, athletic, and personal development in youth student athletes. Will be 1st and 10 for the Ascenders from their 20-yard line. And IMG, the defense has done a lot as far as keeping them in this game. IMG's offense has yet to really find a groove, although we did see last week against Hawthorne, it was the halftime adjustments that got them going and finding a rhythm late in the contest. We'll see if they can continue to try to wear down this Ponte Vedra defense. On 1st and 10, Barreto takes the snap. Vasquez running right side. He's able to miss 1 tackle. He'll pick up 6 on the play to bring up 2nd and 4.
2 carries for 16 yards so far for Vasquez. And, I really don't think in terms of the play calling he's done much differently than Miller. He's just, been seeing the field better and seeing the holes in that offensive line better for him to hit. And Miller, a guy who seeks out contact, has just been swarmed by defenders every time he's touched the ball.
2nd and 4. Vasquez starts to his left, opts to go right. He's going to get close to the line to gain. And that'll bring up 3rd and 1. IMG would love to keep this drive moving, give the defense a little more of a breather on the sideline.
The only first downs that IMG's been able to get have been on a penalty and that 10-yard run by Vasquez 2 drives ago.
Now they go to Miller, and he is stopped in the backfield to bring up a 4th down. And again, they just can't find any space in between the tackles. And another run for loss for Shepard Miller. And a timeout will be taken by Ponte Vedra with 2:28 remaining in the half. It is Ponte Vedra 14, IMG 0. You're watching IMG Academy Football. 4th and 7, Bilibogovic stands back at the 10-yard line awaiting the long snap from Lincoln Pettigene. And there is a flag on the play. And it is a false start. Again, IMG nearing 10 penalties already in the first half.
Yeah, you hate to see those kind of penalties. I mean, the offense, their kicking team, I should say, at this point should know that the hard count's coming, and that they got to stay until they hear the signals. But somehow something got crossed, and that's a shot in the foot for IMG.
Bilibogovic gets this one off. It'll take a Ponte Vedra bounce to the 41-yard line as stopped dead by Caden Brewer.
Another friendly Ponte Vedra bounce, and I think one of the reasons that the Sharks are in the lead is because of the field position. Most of their drives so far, they have started in IMG territory, where IMG has had most of the field to work with every time they touch the ball. And I think you could tell on that last drive that it's starting to wear on IMG's defense, but they need to step up and get a stop here.
1st and 10, they will go to Case, running right side and now cutting to the left side of the field, finding a new gear. He is down the sideline inside the 10 and finally wrapped up. There is a flag on the play back at the 29.
Yeah, it's got to be a hold. Didn't seem like there was anyone on that left side, and that just leads me to believe that someone held somebody else, and this play is going to be coming back. See if we can diagnose it here.
Saw a couple of handfuls of jerseys, and anytime a running back can reverse field and get that much yards, odds are there was a hold somewhere behind it.
Oh, absolutely. And, I mean, there was a couple ones that the head referee could have called. As you said, a couple of fistfuls of jersey. But either way, it's going back, and IMG gets a much-needed break and pushes Ponte Vedra back into their own territory.
First and 10 from their own 49. Price looking for the deep ball. And it is caught into the end zone. Touchdown. And it was Jack Berquist for 51 yards. And now Ponte Vedra starting to pull away.
And there were a couple of those deep balls that we saw early in the game, a little bit overthrown. Seems like third time's a charm for Price. Berquist, again, just beating that press coverage, and nothing but the end zone in front of him there. Exactly what Ponte Vedra needed, just a quick strike and a 51-yard tutty.
And again, we're not used to seeing the IMG Varsity White program outsized, but this Ponte Vedra Sharks team with some big boys, so with a minute 52 remaining in the half, Ponte Vedra takes a 3-score lead over the Varsity White program. It's 21-0. You're watching IMG Academy Football. This one sent deep, and with the wind, gets into the end zone for a touchback.
really think IMG just needs to score here, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown. They can't go into halftime down 21-0 and expect to come out with a win against a solid team like Ponte Vedra. So I'd like to see maybe just some more risks come from Burrito in the quarterback position, and IMG just has to move the ball down the field.
It will be Barreto and Miller. They'll line this up on the left hash at the IMG 20-yard line. First and 10, Barreto. 2 receivers to each side. They'll send Miller in motion. Pressure coming. Barreto gets it to Olsen, who's able to find space. He's down the sideline, gets into Shark territory, lowers his shoulder, gets down to the 40-yard line, and a monster gain, 40 yards from Barreto to Ian Olsen.
Longest play of the day so far for IMG, and they've been waiting for a big break like that. Just Olsen finding a pocket of space and getting a head of steam on a nice easy throw from Barreto on the screen pass.
They'll go the same formation. Barreto fires to the sideline. It'll be incomplete, intended for Navarre. Barreto just had to get rid of it before getting clobbered in the backfield.
Yeah, I mean, he's been under a whole lot of pressure so far, has Barreto, but only 2 incompletions. He's 3 for 5 with over 50 yards of passing so far.
Second and 10. Ball at the 41 of Ponte Vedra. Now the snap, play action. They'll fire to the sideline, wide open, and coming down with it. It looked like it was caught. It was bobbled. Liam Carroll would have had some room to run. And actually, they're going to say it was incomplete. It looked like he actually did come down with it, but again, all alone at the 30 and just can't settle it in. And that looked like a good catch from there, but it looks like they're going to say that Carroll had to use the turf to secure it. So 3rd and 10. Trips right. Play action again. Firing quick. And intended for Alden Bilibogovic. And again, he had a defender draped on him and just couldn't get to it.
And Ponte Vedra again just shuts down IMG on defense after, one big play. It was the same case after the Vasquez run. No play bigger than 5 yards after that, including a sack, and then 3 straight incompletions after that big play to Olsen that made it look like for IMG that they were about to start something, but now they're calling a timeout and discussing whether the punter go for it on 4th and 10 near midfield.
And the timeout called by IMG with a minute 22 remaining in the half. Under Armour is proud to outfit IMG Academy football in the world's most innovative uniforms and training gear. Visit UA.com today to see Under Armour's full range of performance apparel. And you see the Ascenders hydrating, and I don't think, again, with the wind blowing directly into their faces, IMG is going to take an attempt with Gianluca Cosentino. And I think you're going to see the offense stay on the field to try to get 10 yards.
And honestly, Ryan, I think that's better for IMG at this point. I think that, you have to act like it's do or die, because it is. I mean, they're already down 3 scores, really have not been able to generate much on offense. A big play here could really shift momentum.
Barreto drops, steps up. He's got some space to run, fires across the middle. That should be an interference penalty. No flags. Max Jewett, absolutely. There it is. It comes in late. 100% Jewett was hit before the ball got there. And that should move the chains.
And that's a tough play to judge coming from behind the receiver for Ponte Vedra here. But, again, Barreto slipping out of pressure, making a nice throw. And you can clearly see on that replay, Berquist got to the receiver about a second and a half too early. Right call by the officials.
So 1st and 10, IMG marching down the field. Again, they will kick off to begin the second half. Minute 13 to go.
And IMG really just needs to take advantage of this. I mean, that is just not a good penalty from Ponte Vedra. And IMG closest to the end zone that they've been.
Now Berardo firing toward the sideline. It is a beautiful throw and catch. Ian Olsen yet again inside the 5. And IMG is knocking on the doorstep. There is a flag back at the 28.
And if that goes against IMG, that's just a backbreaker. I mean, beautiful throw, spectacular catch in coverage, and you just hate to see that one get called back from IMG on, one of the best plays that they've made all game. And we'll see if we can get the hold in the pocket here. But just looking at this pass again, I mean, that is just picture perfect. Tough to get that one called back.
And when Berardo has had time this evening, he has made some impressive throws. We saw the little bailout to Ian Olsen to start the drive, and that one that should have gotten them a little closer. First down, 20 yards to go. Berardo is going to roll. Shepard Miller puts a block on, giving Berardo time, and he's just going to have to eat it back at the 40. The clock is going to continue to run as we are now under a minute remaining in the half.
And a coverage sack. I mean, just another example of the spectacular pressure that we've seen from Ponte Vedra, and they just really seem to leave IMG's offensive line in the dust on that one.
IMG is going to take a timeout. We'll take it with them with 50 seconds remaining in the first half. You're watching Ascender Football. Second down and 25 yards to go, the longest down and distance of the night so far. Ball back at the Ponte Vedra 41-yard line with Berardo in shotgun. Sends Miller in motion. Quick fires to Navarre, who's able to chunk out about 15 yards or so. 40 seconds to go, and now the IMG Ascenders are going to be quick to the line of scrimmage. On third down and about 10 to go. Berardo, play action, drops, pressure coming. He's able to evade one tackle, just bails out. And there's a flag back at the 33, and it's a hold against the Ascenders.
And again, these holds just continuing to bite IMG. It looks like it was Manny Floor who had a defensive lineman, deep in the pocket, was just trying to prevent him from recovering and getting back to Berardo. But, I mean, this line from Ponte Vedra has just been so impressive that it's honestly, it just seems like it's difficult for IMG to make a play without making a penalty at the offensive line.
And that is the 10th penalty for the Ascenders in this first half. Ball at the 36-yard line. Third down, 20 yards to go. 26.3 remaining. Now the snap. Berardo back quickly, and he loses the football, and he doesn't fall on it. It's recovered as Berardo was lining up to try to fake it. He loses grip of the football and now gives Ponte Vedra a chance to punch it into the end zone with 20 seconds left. And just an absolutely terrible time for that to happen. And now Ponte Vedra with a chance to go up 4 scores before halftime.
I'm honestly at a loss for words. I mean, that's just such a tough break for the quarterback. The ball just kind of slipped out of his hands as he was winding up for whether it was the fake or the throw, I don't know. But, I mean, that's just Ponte Vedra's pressure doing its job and forcing the quarterback to make mistakes.
Price drops. Looking deep down the sideline. It is intercepted. So just like that, the Ascenders get it back. And it is Caden Brewer who has been an absolute ball hawk in the secondary for IMG. And Drew Price, the rare mistake of the night.
And that is one of those kind of plays that could turn the tide of a game. I'm not saying IMG is about to just get a quick strike touchdown in the waning seconds of this half, but Brewer coming out of nowhere and making an Ed Reed-style interception just yards behind the rest of the secondary. Just a fantastic play from Brewer. And, you know, it might be 21-0 on the scoreboard, but that is a big play, and that is something that I think IMG can build momentum on. Great play by Brewer.
Especially going into the half. 12.6 seconds to go. It looks like they may just line up and clock it here. And Barreto will just take the knee. The clock will wind down. So again, it is Caden Brewer who saves the day to end the half for the Ascenders. They will go into half 21-0. They trail the Ponte Vedra Sharks. We will step aside for about 20 minutes and have second half action for you. You're watching IMG Academy Football. Welcome back as we get ready to start the second half here at IMG Academy Stadium alongside my broadcast partner Josh Sperber. My name is Ryan Sudol. The Ascenders trailing 21-0 as we get ready to start the third quarter. And Josh, the one stat that you would look at that would really affect this Ascender team has been penalties in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like every time IMG makes a big play or starts to get some momentum going on offense, the play is called back on a penalty, and that is the first thing that needs to change here in the second half. Just clean it up for IMG and just keep the ball moving.
And they will start with a bouncing little squib kick. It'll be fielded about the 15-yard line and brought down at the 35.
That's Berquist just searching for space, going up the middle on a really solid punt return, and this is, I think, the worst field position for Ponte Vedra to start a drive. One of the rare times they've began in their own territory.
It'll be 1st and 10. First and 10. It is snapped. They'll keep it on the ground. It is Case who has made his case for offensive player of the game as he is again just chunked out yards. About 5 or 6 a carry. He has just been very effective in running downhill and taking IMG defenders with him.
10 carries, over 80 yards, and a score in the first half, and a solid 6-yard run, just finding a lot of space up the middle to put Ponte Vedra closer to that first down.
2nd and 4. Ball at the 43-yard line of Ponte Vedra, but this time he is brought down from behind. It is Jacob Hansen with another shoestring tackle to keep Case from moving the chains.
And that might have been the first time that Case has been hit for a loss of yards. And just a really good job by Hansen, just getting in there untouched into the backfield and finding his way to the ball carrier. A nice play and a good start on defense for IMG in the second half.
Would love to start with a 3 and out. See the adjustments that may have been made at the halftime intermission. Now on 3rd and 4. They'll send Doherty in motion. They'll keep it to Case. He'll bounce to the outside, gets the first down and a few more. Tripped up. That was Michael Hunt Jr. knocking him out at the ankles as he tried to hurdle. But they will break into IMG Academy territory.
Yeah, and a really good run by Case. And you're saying about a potential player of the game on offense. I really don't think there's any other choice at this point. Whenever they've needed a gain, whenever they've needed to move the chains, it's been Case getting the ball, and he has been just so good on the ground as he approaches 100 yards.
First and 10, ball at the IMG 46. Case will move over to the left hip of quarterback Drew Price. Price, a little sidearm delivery, finds Case, and just changing direction multiple times before being brought down by Caden Brewer. And he has been the last line of defense multiple times for the Ascenders, and there is able to bring down the running back.
And Case, again, just showing his ability to break tackles and fight off defenders. Nice little quick throw on the out route there. Sheds a tackle here, and, Brewer has continued to come up in the clutch for IMG, stopping Case 2 yards short of the first down.
Now bouncing to the right. This is a different running back. This is Jake Hilly, who is able to fall forward. He gets up to, I believe, the 36. It's going to be close to a first down, and they are going to move the chains.
And that's enough for a Ponte Vedra first down. 1st and 10.
And Ponte Vedra just, I think they must have just given Case a play off there after getting, 2 calls of his number. And, Hilly did exactly what he needed to do. Don't need a big gain on every single play. 2nd and 2, all you need to do is move the chains.
First and 10, ball at the IMG 36. Now the snap, Price, designed keeper. He will run up, but not wisely. And Hansen, a little angry from that last missed tackle on Case, takes it out on quarterback Drew Price for the short gain.
And you got to think that IMG just prefers when Price runs, because Case has just been so shifty, and he's made it look so easy, breaking tackles on just about every one. But right there, IMG was able to just wrap up Price as soon as they got to him.
Hilly on his left hip. Price awaits the shotgun snap. It's low. Hilly up the middle, and he will be stood up and brought back, wrapped around the ankles by linebacker Danny McKenna, before being assisted by a few other ascenders.
And good defense on the first 2 yards of that drive. First 2 plays of that drive, and now they just need to hold it on third down. And it seems like second and third down is when Ponte Vedra's offense really just ramps it up a notch. And IMG needs a big stop here.
They'd love to begin the second half with a chance to get on the board. Price drops, steps up in the pocket. Pressure coming, and he's got space. To the 20, inside the 15, right about the 16 actually is where he's going to be spotted out. And on 3rd and 6, Drew Price is able to find space.
That's 2 third down, 14-yard runs on this drive for Ponte Vedra, and this was, just again, getting to that second level has not always been the easiest for Ponte Vedra, but once they get there, it just doesn't seem like there are enough ascenders in that second level of the defense. The linebackers and some of the secondary might need to just push up and make sure that there's someone there once Ponte Vedra gets in the open field.
Case back in the backfield. They fake the pitch. Price is going to keep it himself. He gets up to the 10 and runs out of bounds. It looks like they'll maybe give him the 11-yard for a gain of 5. A look that we didn't get a whole lot in the first half was quarterback Drew Price taking off on designed runs.
Yeah, they were giving it to Case in the first half quite a bit, and for good reason. I mean, he's already got over 100 yards so far after the 20 yards on 3 rushes this drive, and Price has just kind of been surprising IMG with the extra work on the ground.
Trips out to the left. One receiver out wide to the right for quarterback Drew Price. It is Brian Case on his left hip. Takes the shotgun snap. They fake to Case. Pressure coming, and Price takes a big hit at about the 11. I believe Jackson Gaskill in on that one. Jacob Hansen loses his helmet and will have to take a play off. That's what they're going to need to do, is put a hurting on Drew Price to make him not want to do much rushing.
Yeah, and especially this close. I mean, that's the kind of tackle you need to see made. A big hit, nice clean wrap up by IMG and stopping Price in his tracks. But I think Price just could have done a better job of selling that fake to Case, because he's clearly the guy that the IMG eyes have been on over the course of this game.
Shotgun snap, they'll hand to Case running up the middle, but forces his way down inside the 5. And it'll be 1st and goal for the Sharks.
Another really solid rush, a 5-yard rush, I believe, from Case, and going up the middle. Ponte Vedra just continues to beat IMG in the trenches, whether it's the success on defense getting to the QB or on the offensive side of the ball when they're just pushing the pile forward.
1st and goal. They've got the ball spotted at the 5. Now the snap, the give to Case. Fighting forward, he is wrapped up below the knees. That is Danny McKenna again.
Ball spotted at the 2 with 2nd and goal.
And I have a feeling the ball's just going to go right back to Case here. This close to the goal line, you want to give it to a big power rusher, and Case has certainly been able to get yards like that for pretty much every play on this game.
Now the snap. Price trying to roll out, and he's going to be brought down. Jacob Hansen with the sack. Second time he's gotten to Drew Price this drive and made him pay.
Yeah, that's a big play from Hansen. You love to see just coming off the bench after losing his helmet, had to be off the last play, and he came back like he never left. A big hit to get Price before he even knew what was coming after him, getting him in the backfield for a short loss.
On 3rd and goal, IMG's D with a chance to get a big stop. It is Case who barrels into the end zone for the touchdown.
And there's what you needed for Ponte Vedra. Just give the ball to your power back and let him just bowl on his way through. Second touchdown of the day for Case, who finished up this drive with almost 40 yards on a run-heavy drive for the Sharks.
.5:15 remaining in the third. Snap is back. The hold is down. It's bad. It's going to turn into an unintentional two-point conversion, and incomplete, no good.
A rare mistake for Ponte Vedra there, and now, again, IMG just needs to capitalize. This is one of the first mistakes, really, that they have made. The Sharks have played a really clean game, but, just a bad hold takes a point away, and while that doesn't seem like much, especially at this stage in the game, you got to think that IMG has something, there's something that they can do to just turn that into some positive momentum.
Ascender fans, get instant updates on your IMG Academy teams by socializing with us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at IMG Academy and at IMGA Football. You can also go to at IMG Academy now on TikTok for some fun content for the younger generations. You can also get your official IMG Academy gear. Go to www.shopimg.com, your official IMG Academy online retailer. DJ Shism in the house here for senior night, one of the local Tampa Bay area DJs providing the entertainment for us on Thursday night. And also being informed the makeup game from Hurricane Helene will be Monday night against Ambassador Christian.
Little Monday night football action.
That will be some fun Monday night football. A nice tune-up. And into the end zone again with the wind gusting probably in the 10 to 15 mile an hour range at the back going from north to south. Basically any kick off the tee is probably going to end up in the touchback.
Yeah, you got two kickers with big legs, and they're aiming for the uprights at this point.
Again, that will be IMG Varsity taking on Ambassador Christian. And watch that game, or at least the first half, before subjecting yourself to Giants Steelers on Monday night.
As a Giants fan, I don't know why you'd want to watch that one.
1st and 10. Merrido back in shotgun. Send Vasquez in motion, and now they're going to start by airing it out. And a little bit of contact, but no flags. Yeah, it was intended for Ian Olsen. Again, he had some big plays. He had the 40-yarder on the IMG's second to last drive before the interception. And then they had the big catch inside the 5 that got called back due to a hold. Again, those penalties just preventing IMG from taking that 0 off the scoreboard right now.
And that's just the second incompletion for Berardo today, too. He's 5 for 7 after going 5 for 6 for 80 yards in the first half.
Miller juking his way forward. He'll get just a little bit in front of the line of scrimmage before his forward progress is stopped.
And it just seems like with Miller in the backfield, you get extra pressure from Ponte Vedra. I don't know if that's just the style that Miller runs. He certainly seems like a guy who seeks out contact, but you know, they just haven't had it easy. The defensive line, especially of Ponte Vedra, has looked just so strong tonight.
Berardo takes the snap, goes to the air looking for Olsen, and again, that one gets caught up in the jet stream and away from Olsen. And it'll bring up a 4th and 9 in a punting situation. Again, per FHSAA rules, if at any point there is a 35-point lead, the running clock will be instituted. Right now, that would mean Ponte Vedra would need to score and a 2-point conversion, with the Ascenders trailing 27-0.
And that's something that, I mean, could realistically happen this drive. I mean, Ponte Vedra really did not see that much resistance in that first drive of the third quarter. And, I mean, just looking at the IMG bench, there are a lot of guys that just look defeated. I mean, it has been just a couple of punches in the gut.
Bill Begovic, nice booming punt, finally taking an Ascender bounce. Hansen will down it at the Shark 48.
Again, the Ascenders coming on, just needing a stop. I think Ponte Vedra was definitely run heavy, so I'd expect some run defense coming from IMG. They made just one pass attempt in their first drive of the third quarter. It'll be interesting to see how much they split up the plays, as we're already pretty late in the third, and the Sharks have a sizable lead.
1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. The Ascenders trailing the Sharks by 27. Drew Price in shotgun. Now the snap. They'll fire this one quickly. It is caught by Caleb Stanton, who will get close to the line to gain. Needed to get to the 42. I believe he'll be down at the 43-yard line to bring up 2nd and 1.
And that is one thing that Ponte Vedra has consistently done better than IMG, is just get the ball out quickly. They haven't allowed the Ascenders too much time to pressure their quarterback, and it shows on the last play.
Stanton in motion. Price awaits the snap. The hand is to Case, and he is brought down from behind, but he'll get enough for the first down.
Case up the middle, tackle by Hannon and Hansen.
And Hannon and Hansen doubling up for the takedown.
Ball at the 38-yard line. This will be a 1st and 10.
And the way Case has been running today, the ball's within 2 or 3 yards of the line of game, just give it to him. I mean, he just looks borderline unstoppable already, closing in on 20 carries and well over 100 yards.
From the IMG 38-yard line, Price in the backfield. Hilly now on his left hip. Trips bunched tight to the left. Now the hand, Hilly looking for space on the right side, and is initially wrapped up by Xavier Gibson before Jacob Hansen comes and finishes the job.
Gibson at the 33-yard line. Pick up a 5 and 2nd and 5.
And just another solid run from Ponte Vedra, and I mean, just time after time, they're not trying to do too much on offense, and it's just their offense just has a nice flow to it.
Now the snap, and then the quick tackle into the backfield. Danny McKenna gets him again. And it'll bring up 3rd and 5.
And those are the kind of plays that IMG needs. I mean, they're getting the pressure, just sometimes the quick strike plays that Ponte Vedra has really adopted in their offense have just not been quick enough, and that was one of those times, and they'll need another defensive play like that last one.
Now the snap. Firing across and almost intercepted. Excellent pressure. Ronan Samudrella reads the route and keeps it away from Jack Berquist. Almost gets the pick. but it'll be 4th down, and this will be one of the longer field goal attempts we've seen attempted here at IMG.
You take a look at the replay here. The ball came to Berquist just at the start of his slant. He did not see the defender right behind him, and just a really nice pass breakup to stop what looked like just a clean-cut pass.
A 50-yard attempt for Noah Ash. The snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up. And the kick is no good. Looks like it just goes wide left. Again, of course, the longest field goal ever attempted here was against Varsity Blue last year against Cambridge Christian. A young kicker by the last name Grammatica. Nico Grammatica, now currently at the University of South Florida, burying 50-yarders on the regular for the Bulls.
That kicking's in his blood.
His father, of course, now the second all-time leading scorer in Tampa Bay Buccaneers history after Mike Evans stole the title from him, but a record that stood for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for quite some time. 1st and 10, IMG from the 20. Takes the snap. Barreto drops. Again, that little bailout pass to Vasquez. He's able to get forward. And he'll pick up about 5 on the play.
And these are the kind of plays that IMG has had success with, and it's really been the same thing on the other side. The quicker the strike, the more successful it seems to go, and just a nice little screen pass. Vasquez into a bit of pressure up the middle there, but he was still able to break off a solid gain. Good start to the drive for IMG.
2nd and 5, Vasquez on the right hip of Barreto. 2 receivers to each side. Barreto fires this one quick. Jewett is able to catch it, but only gets about a yard or 2 after the catch. It'll bring up a 3rd and manageable for this IMG offense with under a minute remaining in the 3rd.
Just no running room, maybe a yard on the reception. And now it's just a huge play for IMG. I think they're going to go to the air again, and they just need to put guys past that 1st down marker. They just need to extend drives, something they have not done well today.
Brody Boros to the near side. And now they do a little misdirection. Ian Olsen able to shake one tackle, has to get upfield, and he's unable to. He'll be stopped back at the 20, so trying to get creative with the trickeration, but Ponte Vedra with defenders all over the field and shuts down the IMG hopes.
And that pressure from Ponte Vedra just coming once again, right in the middle of the field. The gaps aren't being protected as well as you would hope from IMG, and that's a big reason that they're down by 4 scores.
And that will be the end of the 3rd quarter. We go to the 4th with IMG. They're not completely out of it, but they've got a long way to go. It's 27-0 in favor of the Sharks. This is IMG Academy football. Again, don't forget, tomorrow night, tune in as the National Ascenders, the 6th-ranked team in the nation, take on the number 44-ranked team in the nation, the number 1-ranked team in the state of Illinois, East St. Louis. That game, of course, just on the other side of the Mississippi River. From the St. Louis Arches, this one fielded at the 46th. Taking one off, Berquist. A nice return for about 20 yards or so. And it gives IMG Academy a very short field behind them to try to keep Ponte Vedra out of the end zone.
And Berquist has been the return guy for Ponte Vedra, and it just seems like every time he's going to break off something big. He has done a really good job at identifying some of the holes in the field. But that time, IMG closed down just in time to prevent an even bigger play.
IMG Academy would like to thank their following sponsors: Airweave, Dunlop, Gatorade, the Gatorade Sports Science Institute, Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, Quick Goal, Merrill Lynch, Michael Saunders and Company, Musco, Forever Lawn, Select Soccer, Therabody, Under Armour, and Uniball. Thank you for your continued support of all IMG Academy athletic programs. And Xavier Gibson, the injured ascender on the plate, doesn't look to be too shaken up, but again, trainers and coaches on his side, walking under his own power, not too gingerly either, so would expect to see him again back in the game a little later in this fourth quarter.
You never like to see an injury, but it's always a silver lining when you see the guy walking off on his own power. No help from the trainers, coaches at all, so hopefully we'll see Gibson back on the next drive.
And it is senior night. There you see the headshots of the seniors. Now Price, he drops, has time, rolls out of the pocket to his right, and then just opts to go out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. And we'll take some time to recognize all of our seniors. Linebacker number 0, Jacob Hansen out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Wide receiver number 2, Ian Olson out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Running back number 3, Shepard Miller out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Xavier Gibson, the defensive back out of Lorton, Virginia. Michael Hunt Jr., number 5, the defensive back out of Manassas, Virginia. Quarterback number 8, Hudson Heineman out of Wappinger Falls, New York. And there is Danny McKenna. He was next on the list. The linebacker out of Corpus Christi, Texas, wearing number 9. Quarterback number 11, Josh Barreto out of Nokesville, Virginia. Linebacker number 22, Max Sassini out of L.A., California. Linebacker number 24, Jackson Gaskell out of Nags Head, North Carolina. Defensive back number 26, Harry Smith out of Houston, Texas. Running back number 28, Damian Vasquez out of Toluca, Mexico. Linebacker number 29, Dylan Magleby out of Salt Lake City, Utah, as Price throws this up, and it is defended well.
Downfield intended for TT, broken up by Polk.
And that was Trell Polk on the breakup. We go to linebacker number 44, Colton Pickett, the senior out of Dallas, Texas. Defensive lineman number 50, Alfio Martinez out of Pachuca, Mexico. Offensive lineman number 72, Edwin George Goulding out of McLean, Virginia. Offensive lineman number 73, Robert Strike out of Sydney, Australia. Had a chance to meet his parents last week, Brett and Suzanne, also in attendance here tonight. Now for the field goal. This one, snap is back, the hold is down, the kick is up, and it is just short. So the Ascenders and the field goal team doing their job. We'll take some time to again recognize the rest of the seniors as we get the ball back to the IMG offensive side of the ball. Offensive lineman number 76, Dale Johns out of Pisgah, Alabama. Offensive lineman number 77, Enrico Magelli out of Cancun, Mexico. Offensive lineman number 78, Manny Floor out of Brooklyn, New York. Wide receiver number 83, Alden Bilibagovic out of Red Deer, Alberta. He's done the punting duties as well tonight. Tight end number 87, Sam Navarre out of Dayton, Maryland. Defensive lineman number 97, Preston Olafson out of Calabasas, California. And from Shenyang, China, defensive lineman number 99, Alan Cao. That is your class of 2020-25 for the IMG varsity program. Quarterback Josh Barreto has Shepard Miller going east-west and then trying to work his way from north to south. And a nice run for Shepard Miller. Again, though, the Ascenders not just chasing 27 points, they've also got to worry about the 10 minutes and 30 seconds that continue to run off the clock. IMG now lining up with a sense of urgency. This one to Max Jewett. It's just a little underthrown, and he can't reel it in.
And, I mean, play like that is going to slow up IMG's movement a little bit, but you can even tell now that they're just moving to the line that much faster. Clock stop, clock running, it doesn't matter. IMG is not done yet, and they are still doing everything they can to try and get to the line quickly and get a play off.
3rd and 6. Berardo takes the snap. Play action to Miller. Pressure coming, and Berardo steps up, and he is brought down. Again, the outstretched arm of Riker Kemp brings Berardo down. Ponte Vedra telling everybody to grab the ball, but Josh Berardo coming off the field a little gingerly. But a punting situation. It will be the wide receiver Alden Bilibogovic, who has had some pretty phenomenal punts for a guy wearing the number 83, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, it's high school football in a nutshell. You got very different numbers punting. Usually they play a different position as well, but you couldn't tell with Bilibogovic. He's got a really good leg, and aside from some unfriendly bounces, he has consistently done his best to put Ponte Vedra back with his punts.
And this one corkscrews to the 44-yard line. And then it's finally Caden Brewer, after Bergquist is able to get back into Ascender territory, down to the 42-yard line.
And that's another reason that Bilibogovic's punts haven't seemed to travel that far, because Bergquist has done an excellent job returning so far. Seems to always find a hole in the coverage, and just has been gaining yards seemingly every single return.
1st and 10 from the Ascender 42. Drew Price hands this one off. I believe it's Hilly. He'll pick up about 2 yards. Progress stopped and then driven down, as there is 9 minutes remaining in the contest. Be 2nd and 8.
And I think they're going to give Case a little bit of extra rest. Price is still out, but the beating that Case has had to take, just tacklers swarming around him. With a 4-touchdown lead, not a bad idea for Ponte Vedra to rest their star running back.
Price on 2nd and 8. Takes the shotgun snap with Medina in motion. And it is fired to Medina, and Ronan Samadrala is there to bring him down, but Medina unable to reel it in, and it'll go down as an incomplete.
And I think Medina just heard the footsteps on that one. He had enough space, might have been able to turn up to the sideline if that ball wasn't thrown a little bit too far behind him. But good recovery by IMG and a good tackle to knock the ball loose.
Third down, 8 to go. They'll get the adjustment from the sideline. Ponte Vedra just 1 game left in the regular season. That will be November 1st at home against Creekside. As Price drops, rolls to his right. It is a low pass. It is complete to Hilly, but it's not going to be enough for the first down. So, again, this is one of those maybe too far to kick a field goal, too close to punt situations. We'll see if they keep the offense on the field for the IMG Varsity White program. November 1st, they will be taking on Golden Gate. That will be down, I believe, in the Naples area. That will be next Thursday, November 1st, or next Friday, November 1st. And then again, we mentioned the Varsity Blue makeup game on Monday against Ambassador Christian. Now the snap. Price drops. Pressure coming. He steps up and able to evade a few, and he's going to get the first down, and he slides down. And Gaskill was taken out by his own player trying to make the stop. And just none of the bounces going the Ascenders' way tonight.
And that's just, I mean, you got to wrap him up. There were a couple guys around Price in the middle of the field, and, he did a good job just juking himself away from defenders. But you just need to get a wrap-up tackle there. Get your arms around the quarterback and just drive the guy into the ground. But another really good run by Price for 16 yards.
1st and 10 from the 22 of IMG Academy. The hand to Hilly. Looking for a hole in the defensive line. He's not going to find it. Jackson Gaskill that time doesn't let anybody by.
Yeah, we got another look at the Price run. He saw the pressure coming, just slipped through a couple tacklers there. Got the benefit of 2 IMG players running into each other, but again, you're just not seeing enough body-on-body contact from IMG to get those tackles down.
Now Price rolls right, just fires this one out past the sideline, incomplete with 6 minutes, 23 seconds to go. The clock will stop.
I'm honestly surprised that Ponte Vedra is even passing right now. They've got the time on their side, and it really does seem like Price is looking to run, especially in that case where there really wasn't anyone open. IMG with some really strong pressure to get a stop on 2nd down.
And again, whatever the coaching staff said at halftime with regard to penalties, you can tell the Ascenders have not had a penalty so far in this second half. 10 in the first, though, helping put them in this 27-point deficit. Price drops, has a man. It is wide open to Hilly, but he can't reel it in. And this will be a 4th down. We'll see if the field goal unit comes out.
Ponte Vedra really could try to go for this, and it seems like they're at least feigning the attempt to go for it. But, at this point, another touchdown, another, big play here by Ponte Vedra could really just put this one completely out of reach.
And on 4th, they will keep the offense on the field. Price fires and incomplete, so it'll be a turnover on downs, and the Ascenders with just over 6 minutes remaining. It's about 6:15 on the clock, and they will need 4 scores to make that happen, or 3 touchdowns, 3 2-point conversions, and a field goal. So 3 big plays hopefully in the future for the Varsity White Ascenders. We'll see after the final hydration break. You're watching IMG Academy football. .6:15 to go, 1st and 10. Ball at their own 20-yard line. Navarre motions to the right side, empty backfield. Looking for Navarre, and he is tripped up. It goes through his hands. Coverage coming at the hands of Ethan Holmes, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
And that wasn't great coverage. We've certainly seen better from Ponte Vedra, but Holmes did just enough there. He was in Navarre's face, somewhat screening him, so he wasn't able to get a clear look at the throw out of the hands of the quarterback. So a good job in coverage by Holmes to get that incompletion.
2nd and 10. Berardo takes the snap and puts this one outside of the outstretched arm of Damian Vasquez. Again, for the good throws that Berardo has made, there have been a couple of open ones that have just not been able to connect on, that have really kind of contributed to the IMG offensive struggles.
And that is certainly one that I think Berardo is going to want back, because it looked like that the intended receiver had a little bit of running room, and maybe something could have gone after the play, but just not the best execution after a great play call.
Now Berardo with time, rolling to his right, calling for the hot route, and he's just going to have to call his own number and run it out of bounds. With 5:57 remaining in the game.
And I like that composure from Berardo. I mean, I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that would try and force that ball up the field in this situation, but Berardo just ran out of bounds, and that at the very least stops the clock. I think that matters less at this point, but you'd rather just take a safe couple of yards than force it and maybe get a turnover.
4th and 9, Bilibogovic. Back inside the IMG 10-yard line. Lincoln Pettigene has done a yeoman's work at the long snapper position tonight. And this will take an IMG bounce to the 41-yard line of Ponte Vedra. And it looks like we may have a change at the quarterback position. I believe this will be number 17, Cole Rosendahl, the junior. So Drew Price, after the, again, pretty near flawless performance that he had. He did have the interception at the end of the first half, but besides that, just very efficient in moving this Shark offense. They'll send a man in motion. That's David Doherty. Rolling right, Rosendahl. And he's going to keep it himself. He'll get up to the 46, so a gain of 5 for the junior quarterback backup.
And it looked like just a simple power option to the right, but Rosendahl just saw a lot more room going up the middle. His route to the running back didn't seem to be available, and he saw a big hole open up in the middle, and that's why he saw that dive before he reached the second level.
Now they'll put it to Hilly, but Jacob Hansen will meet him at the exchange, and Hansen, about the 3rd or 4th time he's lost a helmet after contact. Well-earned play off.
Yeah, 2-yard loss, and as you said, right on the transfer, as soon as Hilly touched that pigskin, he was denied. A really good defensive play by Hansen.
3rd and 7. Two receivers to the right, 2 to the left. On 3rd and 7, ball at the 44-yard line of Ponte Vedra. Now looking for the deep ball. Pressure coming. The fingertip catch from Tucker Henderson.
And the press coverage for IMG has really not worked tonight. Plain and simple. You don't get as good of a look here, but you just, the IMG corners have just been so pressure heavy, and the Ponte Vedra receivers have just continued to beat them off the line. And a couple of big passing plays for the Sharks has really helped them earn this win.
Rosendahl with a nice throw, sets up a 1st and 10 inside the red zone. Rosendahl, Rose right. Pressure coming, and he just has to give his body up back to about the 18-yard line. Clock will continue to tick under 4 minutes.
And again, good pressure from IMG, but I mean, this is really how the drives have gone. You get good pressure on the first 2 downs, and on 3rd down, it seems like the Sharks offense just pulls a big play out of nowhere, like that last catch by Henderson.
They will wind the clock down, the play clock under 10 seconds. Rosendahl takes the shotgun snap, fakes to Hilly. Rosendahl keeps it himself, and he gets tabletopped right about the 15-yard line.
A lot more quarterback runs with Rosendahl, and those option plays have been able to get just little bits and pieces for Ponte Vedra, and now IMG needs to try and make another stop here, but we might see a field goal. We might even see a potential fourth down conversion attempt from Ponte Vedra if IMG can make a stop on this play.
Now under 3 minutes, Rosendahl firing to the back corner of the end zone, and it is intercepted. The one-handed grab by Mason Vedra. In the end zone, touchback. What a snag from Vedra. The junior defensive back tracks it through the air. It looked to be a great throw from Rosendahl and just brings it in with the right hand.
And I think that was just the first 50-50 ball that IMG won. I mean, that was kind of a toss-up into a little bit of double coverage. There was a corner helping Vedra on that as well. But, I mean, what an incredible play. He just completely stole that one from Rosendahl and Ponte Vedra. And, you know, that's the second pick of the game for IMG. But the offense, even with this little time left, would still be nice to see them try and get something done and move downfield.
First and 10. Berardo, little shoulder fake, steps up, looking for the deep ball. Has Olsen. It is caught in stride and down inside the 30. They're going to mark him out at the 36, I believe. There is a flag on the play, but it looks like it is defensive holding, and it is declined.
That's just a great play. They've been looking for one of those link-ups all game long, and Olsen just got some space. And, you know, there was a streak route just going right on the sideline, and if his momentum just kind of carried him out of bounds. If he was able to just make a slight turn, that could have been a house call for Olsen. Big, big play. And we get another look here. Berardo extends this play, just shrugging off some pressure, stepping up, and making a perfect throw to Olsen, hitting him in stride for a big first down.
44 yards on those two big catches for Ian Olsen. Berardo, play action, fires this one. It is caught, going to be enough for the first down. This one finding Sam Navarre. And where the Ascenders stayed very run-heavy in the first half, now going to the passing game and finding some gaps on this Ponte Vedra team.
And, I mean, partly you want to say, why didn't they go to passing sooner? But obviously the game script dictates pass right now, and they've been making the most of it.
Shepard Miller in the right pocket of Josh Berardo. Takes the snap, play action to Miller. Berardo has to step up, and then he just has to take the sack back to the 35.
And that's been Ponte Vedra all night long. Just when IMG's starting to get some momentum, starting to string some plays together, that pressure from the defensive front just comes in and pulverizes the Ascenders behind the line. And Ponte Vedra has just been bringing it at that line of scrimmage all night long.
Minute 50 and counting. 2nd and 20. Ball at the Ponte Vedra 35-yard line. Berardo, the bailout to Shepard Miller, who has some area and room to run. He gets inside the 10, brought down, and they get the first down and then some. Shepard Miller getting 20-plus on the play, and it'll bring up a 1st and goal for the Ascenders.
And there was just a portion of that run where Miller was kind of faced with a couple of Sharks defenders, made a beautiful cut inside, and that gave him all the room that he needed for that almost 30-yard play.
And a timeout's going to be taken by Ponte Vedra. 1:33 to go in the game. IMG knocking on the door. You're watching Ascender football. First and goal for the Ascenders, the first time of the night. Comes with 1:33 remaining. Berardo takes the snap. Little flag route, and why not? Ian Olsen, back corner, touchdown.
Pass into the end zone, complete for a touchdown to Olsen.
And that is what the Ascenders needed. You know, some people can say too little, too late with a minute and a half left, but just getting in the end zone at any point in the game is always a good thing. And Olsen just torched his defender in close. Burrito was looking his way the entire way. And by the time Ponte Vedra caught on, it was too late. 8-yard touchdown for Olsen. And the Ascenders are on the board.
Cosentino on for the first point after. Snap is back. The hold is down. The kick is up. The kick is good. With 1:27 left in the game, the Ascenders break the 0 off the scoreboard. They trail by 20, but it's 27-7. This is Ascender football. And Cosentino will, no doubt, attempt an onside kick here. And they get it. The Ascenders fall on it. And it's Gianluca Cosentino with the good old-fashioned Pat McAfee. Little tip, gets it across midfield and falls on it. There's one for the highlight reel.
I think that'll just get him a show on ESPN, too. I mean, that was just a great play. Not every day you see a kicker recover their own onside kick, but this one absolutely perfect. Cosentino was following that ball all the way, and that just rolled right down the middle of the field, right into his own arms. And, I mean, it's a tall order to get 2 more touchdowns in a minute and a half, but it's great to see IMG just leaving it all out on the field on senior night.
First and 10. Ball at the 49. Berardo takes the snap. Looking to the air again. Has the wind at his back. Ian Olsen. Oh, my goodness. Down to the 25-20. Inside the 10 and brought down at the 6-yard line. What in the world, and a late flag.
That certainly looked like a horse collar, which just only adds to how incredible that reception from Olsen just was. I mean, that ball looked like it was on the ground, and Olsen just kind of scooped it up. We'll get another look here. Berardo with a great throw, finding his man. Olsen been his go-to guy all night, especially on these deeper balls, and he just ripped that out of the defender's hands and then added another 20 or so yards on the run. Fantastic play from IMG.
And if you just take the 3 big plays from Ian Olsen, well over 100 yards.
Yeah, that looked like it was about a 40-yard reception, I believe. I mean, just a great game he has had, particularly in the second half.
First and goal. Berardo drops. Goes right back to Olsen and just outside of the outstretched arms.
And I think most of the stadium right now can tell you that the next pass is probably going to Olsen as well. I mean, feed the hot hand, especially at this point in the game. And Olsen Might be a little later in the contest than you would hope, but what a job by him, just continuing to get open.
Now the snap. They fire quickly. Olsen again, number 2 with touchdown number 2.
And you'd expect a run that close to the end zone, but that's a play that'll make Russell Wilson jealous. I mean, a nice little quick pass right near the end zone, and just everything going right for IMG on these last 2 drives. Taking a look at the replay here, quick throw from Berardo, no one covering Olsen on that slant, and that's a second touchdown.
Snap is back, the hold is down, the kick is up. Cosentino 2 for 2, and just like that, in a matter of seconds, IMG has made a 27-0 game, 27-14. It's not over yet. 61 seconds to go. You're watching IMG Academy Football. And now we go. Cosentino going to be trying to get another onside kick. And that's going to be an offside. And again, a little hesitation step, so they'll have to move this back a few yards. But again, put a good weight on the kick.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really blame Cosentino for that one. That was just, I mean, it wasn't a bad kick. Just he was trying to give a little bit of that hesitation, just trying to confuse Ponte, Vedra, but just ended up hitting one of his teammates before it continued his move forward, and now it looks like you've got another chance here.
And obviously the Sharks waiting for it. They'll no doubt just take a knee in the victory formation if they recover. Although IMG, I believe, still has all 3 timeouts, or at least 2 of them, I believe. And they call the procedure again. It looks like one of the gunners may have just gotten forward.
It's got to be tough for these hands team guys, because you've got so much extra energy with back-to-back big drives ending in a touchdown late in the game. And, I mean, there's a minute left, but you still kind of have hope for IMG the way they've played these last couple of drives. I mean, those last 2 touchdowns happened in less than a minute. I mean, who's saying they can't do it again? I mean, obviously it's going to take a whole lot, but, you can't count these guys out, and I think that just that extra little bit of juice is what's causing these hands team guys to just start moving too quickly too soon. And it's cost IMG in the last 2 onside kick attempts.
Almost need to start with the new NFL rules. This one will skip, take a bounce, and it continues to bounce, and then just falling on it. So a good net result regardless.
Yeah, but at the very least, it's not a short field. which is what you'd worried about after a couple penalties. But, Ponte Vedra doesn't need much of the field right now. They just need to take a couple of knees and unfortunately send the seniors home unhappy.
Davis Latina was able to track that down, but again, his urgency to fall on the ball, I think, may have knocked a little wind out of him.
They'll call it the 12-yard line.
Yeah, I think he just landed. He landed on his stomach on that ball. I mean, it's what you got to do. I mean, it's how you're trained, just to get as much of your body that can keep possession of the ball on top of it as soon as possible. But that just doesn't hurt. That just doesn't feel good.
1st and 10, but it doesn't look like they're lining up in any kind of victory formation. So IMG with a chance to maybe get some kind of a turnover. They'll keep it on the ground.
Case on the carry for 1 or 2. 2nd down.
And Danny McKenna getting the stop on Brian Case, and really should just be one more snap. They can run this down to about the 10-second mark.
But, I mean, you got to give Ponte Vedra a lot of credit. I mean, senior night, 2 games, two teams with really strong records, and Ponte Vedra just brought it all night.
And tripped up. And that should do it. And that will be your final score. So the Ascenders will leave senior night upset, but an incredible effort in the last few minutes as IMG was able to get 2 touchdowns from Berideau to Ian Olsen, and left for an exciting fourth quarter for us, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, you'd love to see that offensive explosion come a bit earlier in the game for IMG, but it's almost just as reassuring to see that after the game had more or less been decided. Obviously, it's a tough loss for the Ascenders, but they didn't lose this game because they're a worse team than Ponte Vedra. They lost this game because Ponte Vedra just dominated defensively. And, by the end of the game, that line might have got a little worn out and allowed for a little less pressure in Berideau to get cooking. But, I mean, just a really solid game of football all around, especially in the second half when the penalties decreased.
A little, too late. IMG falls 27-14 to the hands of the Ponte Vedra Sharks. They go to Golden Gate next week before heading across the pond for the second time this year to take on the NFL Academy in Germany. Again, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast in spite of the result. For everybody here at IMG Academy and for my broadcast partner, Josh Sperber, my name is Ryan Sudol saying good night and so long from the Sun Coast.